Welcome in, everybody, to the NXT review. June 1st, NXT 25. Just going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here and get everything on the screen we need. I didn't want to miss any, I didn't want to miss any wrestling tonight, so I didn't set up my show beforehand at all. I did not want to miss NXT tonight at all. I've just been so pumped up with everything with AEW and NXT and everything else. I was just fired up and ready to go. I didn't want to miss any of it. And on top of that, I was flipping back and forth for the Bruins and the Stanley Cup. So that has been my night. I've got a smile on my face like you wouldn't believe. With the Bruins are destroying the Blues right now. So I'm very happy about that. And then on top of that, NXT puts on a fucking solid show tonight. A very good show. And I'm going to talk about it, and I'm sure we're going to have to compare it to AEW, and we're going to get into that too, but, we're going to go through it match to match as well. I've had some time to sit here and think about it. I was feeling very good about the whole night. Maybe giving it too good a scores at sometimes on Twitter. I was just so happy. But, I also look at the show as a whole, so it's, we'll talk about how that is. But now that I've got the, donation stuff up here, we can go ahead and talk about it. NXT Takeover. Now, I've never been the biggest, the biggest fan of Mr. Barefoot. Sometimes I call him Mr. Barefoot. What is up, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the WWE NXT review, June 1st, 2019. It's Takeover 25. I can't believe we've seen 25 of these takeovers, man. We've been here for every single one of these takeovers. It was very exciting when they first launched NXT, and we did this. We were able to talk about NXT Takeover and how excited we were. And, man, I will tell you that, tonight was the first night. I did feel a little bit in the main event like, oh, man, I think it is, I don't know, like they do have to start kind of moving on at some point, I think, because of all, the super kick, false finish, super kick, false finish. That's the one thing where, I kind of went, I've seen this a million times before at this point, and I feel like anybody could kind of be doing that. So that was the one thing. They were great. It was so entertaining, but by the time they got to that match, it was like, I'm kind of sick of the super kicks, to the head. I mean, to me, I just cringe when it's like super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick.
Give me a hell yeah!
9 out of 10. This way better than AU.
Wow.
Fuck you, Cody, you're not taking Triple H's throne anytime soon.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that real quick. Here's the thing. Going into NXT tonight, to me, Alexa's sweet ass. Thank you for the 316, Alexa's sweet ass. What's up? What's up, Alexa's sweet ass? Okay, so here's the deal. There's no way that NXT is going to be able to beat Cody Rhodes versus Dustin, the emotion, right? They're not going to be able to beat the emotion of that. It's just not going to happen. So I get that. Like, I already went in knowing that. You're not going to beat Dustin Rhodes and Cody with what they did with the blood and their emotion. Probably Jericho and Omega's match with the whole ending with Moxley showing up. You're not going to be able to do any of that, right? So we know that. So I will say that AEW, in that regards, emotion with personal story, they beat NXT with that. But what NXT did beat AEW with was everything else. That fucking casino battle royale that was a joke. NXT destroyed that. NXT destroyed everything that was mid-card about AEW the other night. That's what I will say. I will definitely say that. And I will also say that NXT was the more solid show. AEW had a lot more lows than NXT tonight, but AEW also had some highs and some different things that we didn't see. Tonight, as always with NXT, it's just kind of like, here's 5 matches or 4 matches or whatever they have, 5 I think. Here's 5 matches. Go out there, kill it. Let's just go. Okay, you're done with your match. Now you get out there and kill it. All right, bam, the night's over. Whereas AEW did, here's the pre-show, and now we have the Rumble, and then we have the other match, and then, we were going to have this tag match and that tag match, and we're going to have a fucking personal story between Dustin. So, like, it's a different show, to be honest. And I agreed that I thought, NXT would be competing more with AEW. They would more compete with each other. But the more I compare them, it's like, it's just so different. To me, I don't know what to tell you. I enjoyed this entire show more. It was more solid to me than AEW, but it didn't have those little moments of storytelling that I liked in AEW. Believe it or not, AEW did that. But I did like it. I like both.
10.
What's up, Donnie? Donnie M. Chiming in.
NXT is the only show of the WWE I get out of my chair and give it a standing ovation when it's over.
Yeah. Donnie, thank you for the $10, man. I appreciate that. I agree. Dude, like, absolutely. Like, tonight, I was loving tonight, man. My kids are loving it. They even noticed it, man. It was great. I loved NXT tonight, but yeah, again, NXT was more safe. They did their thing, but somebody in the chat a minute ago just said that AEW had more variety. I agree. I think AEW kind of had the more variety, and NXT is the only thing that I would say to criticize NXT is it's more of the same, but the same is great, so it's hard to criticize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've seen one NXT Takeover, it's starting to kind of feel like you've seen them all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say that. This is the little bit of negative I'll put on tonight. Because I thought NXT Takeover tonight was like an 8 out of 10. It was great. But the little bit of negativity that I could spin on it is it's starting to feel a little bit like, one takeover from the next, kind of is similar. Where... and I don't think we've seen enough of AEW to know if that's the case in their company.
Shit bum.
But the variety was different.
Awesome show tonight. Adam Cole is champion, baby. Riddle and Strong was great, and so was the ladder match, as well as Tyler and Velveteen. Women's match was average, but all in all, great show. Fuck the main roster, it's all about AEW and NXT now. 9/10.
9 out of 10 from Triple Gaming. That is a beast of a rating. Triple Gaming, thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum. I hope anybody that mismonetized this goes and checks it out from last night. We had a lot of fun. So basically, Matt Riddle, I have said that I have not been the biggest Matt Riddle fan, but he had wonderful chemistry with Roderick Strong. These two were great. This match was just a great way to open NXT tonight. It was really good. This may have been one of my favorite matches of Roderick Strong's in NXT, and I will certainly say that I believe this is my favorite Matt Riddle match that he's ever had in NXT. I think, unless there's something I'm forgetting about, somebody can let me know. I really think that this was Matt Riddle's best performance yet, and I'm not a big Matt Riddle guy. So, this was a match that went, oh, shit, like, yeah, he can do this. That was great. Now, I've seen him on the, a little bit on the independents, especially like Northeast Wrestling. I've seen him have some pretty kind of like, slobber knocker, like, brawls around, like Falls Count Anywhere matches that he did he succeeded pretty well in. Somebody made the comparison. He's kind of like Kurt Angle, and I said, yeah, you kind of right in a way. I don't think he's the technical sort of the same style as much, but a little bit how he just kind of came into wrestling now and he just picked it up and he's getting better and better and better. I don't know if you could say he's definitely not on Angle's level to me, but the idea of it, of how he's progressed, kind of similar to, I don't know, man. He's just really, he progresses. He really does. He does better and better and better. And Roderick Strong is just a goddamn stud. So, and I don't mean like sexually, like because I'm married, but you know what I mean. He's just like appears to be this throwback wrestler for the modern era, who really makes this stuff look very legitimate and just awesome. I mean, the match was great. I loved the match. I think that match was probably an 8.5. Was one of my favorites. I mean, there was a lot of little, no sell, kick out, but it felt real, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt way more believable. I felt with Adam Cole and Gargano that it got a little bit silly at times with the super kicks to the faces and the spot, just the spottiness of it in a way. I don't know, like something about it. It wasn't as honest, but it could also be because I've seen that all night long, and now you're doing it, so it's like I've already seen this all night long. So I thought that the match is going to suffer in a rating from me a little bit. They don't give a shit what I say about their match, but I'm just saying, like, only because we had seen so much earlier that it's kind of like you blow your load like earlier on, and then that match comes on, and it's I don't know. I just didn't quite buy it as much, if that makes any sense. But for whatever reason, Riddle and Roderick Strong, I did. And so, yeah. So I gave that match an 8.5, which I thought was really good. And then I thought the ladder match was very exciting to watch. I don't think it's a great match that I'll go back in history and be like, wow, that match, I'll never forget that. I won't really remember too much. They did the something that they've done before and that we've seen before, where like a team shows up out of nowhere, jumps onto the ladder at the end, and then they win. But it worked really well. It got the crowd going. They just, man, that Solo Cup party, dude. Those guys had that crowd hyped. Okay, like it was crazy. The crowd was ready. Street Profits win. Dude, my daughter was freaking out. She was like all kinds of pumped up for that. Like my kid. I've had my kids sit next to me during Raw. Let me explain this to everybody. My kids have sat next to me during Raw, and they've never been excited, really. I mean, years ago, maybe Gavin was a little bit when he was younger. But my daughter has watched, and she's like, oh, yeah, haha, wrestling, okay, whatever. But when they won tonight, and the way they won, she saw that, and then when they reacted with the crowd, like she was like dancing around the room and stuff, and she was all excited because there was excitement happening, and then she became excited, even though like wow, that was cool, they're champions, and she's 5 years old, so she's never done that on Raw. She has watched Raw with me for like hours and just kind of sat there and been like, oh, are the women gonna do this or are the men gonna do that? And there's nothing to it, you know what I'm saying? But that excitement, the crowd, and all that other stuff, that hypes you up. So that was it was a solid match. It was brutal, man. It was a brutal ladder match. It was like, you got to give them credit, man. They beat the shit out of each other, and it was a nice match. I thought it was nice. I had trouble scoring this one in my head, somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8.5. I really didn't want to. I think because I like to score things more on wrestling more than anything, unless it's like a awesomely like brutal match somehow. So I'm probably going to give the ladder match a 7.5. A great match, very brutal, and I enjoyed it. It was, and the crowd was just roaring at this point.
Here we go. I'm about to get it.
What's up, chat? How you guys doing, man?
Here we go. Oh, no.
For God's sake, can we just stop with AEW better than this? NXT better than that? Can we just be wrestling fans and enjoy what we fucking like? Christ.
Jesus. John Wills, what up, man? Thank you for the $5. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous when people actually are like, this is better, that is better. I agree. I don't agree. I think that we have to compare things. It's fun to compare them. I don't think it's cool to say AEW is better, NXT is better. It's literally a different style. I think you've learned tonight, John Wills and everybody else, I think what we've learned here is that NXT is a brand that's going to give you something that AEW doesn't give you. AEW is a brand that's going to give you something different than NXT or WWE. And if you're somebody who's like AEW better, NXT better, probably you have a different taste. You know what I mean? Because from my opinion, the WWE main roster still has a little bit of excitement, sometimes the idea of things to it because it's on a big stage, but mostly the WWE main roster week-to-week show is abysmal and boring and horrible. But yet you still watch it because it's the big WWE. So, therefore, WWE Raw and SmackDown have something different to offer you than AEW, than NXT. I don't think I'm having trouble. I am being honest with everybody right now. I am having trouble because people are asking me which one was better, AEW or NXT. I'm having trouble telling you the answer to that because the fact of the matter is they're just so different. It really is different. You don't think they are. You think, well, NXT's like AEW, and they're like, no, they're just not. They're different. AEW is trying to sort of do what WWE does, but in the style of, but in a more modern style, and something that maybe nobody else has even really done yet. So that's what they're doing. I feel like NXT is trying to go out and have a very good, to the point, athletic competition, and they book a certain way. All right? And it's just different. I think it's on a smaller scale. I think NXT is made on purpose to be a smaller scale than even AEW. I think AEW is meant to be, we're this big wrestling company now, and but we're gonna give you this style of wrestling. I think you saw elements of a lot of elements of NXT in AEW, obviously, but you saw a lot of wrestling that we all know, like from WWE or from TNA Impact in AEW. In NXT, you really don't see a lot of those elements. In NXT, it really does, and I feel this way now even more so after seeing AEW, that NXT has really created its own little atmosphere, like its own little, just like mini but mega indie promotion that's run a certain way. It's very fascinating to me, but it has its own vibe now. After all these years of NXT now and these takeovers, it has its own vibe. It has a feel of how it's supposed to be and how it's going to be and how it's going to go. Whereas AEW feels like, again, there's all this variety being thrown in that could discombobulate things a bit. So it's different. It really is hard to compare. The bottom line is, I think I'm going to give AEW, I think I gave AEW an 8 out of 10 the other night. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think I'm giving NXT tonight an 8 out of 10. But for two different reasons. I'm giving NXT tonight an 8 out of 10 because it was I felt a solid, to the point, but exciting show. And I give AEW an 8.0 because I felt it was tonight, or rather AEW the other night, it had some really compelling emotional storytelling, and then it had some exciting athletic matches, but it also had some stuff that I didn't like, and it had the commentary wasn't very good in AEW. It was kind of atrocious to me. They had a guy on the left who's never called wrestling in his life. The guy on the left, I don't even remember his name. Here's all these announcers working the indies, working all around everywhere, trying to get in with a wrestling company, okay? I've worked in wrestling commentary for 11 years now, and here's a guy who fucking has never announced shit, and it was very obvious in AEW that the guy, he was, like, weird. And then you had, on the right, Excalibur, and he was okay, but he was a little bit new, too, you could tell, and he was annoying at times. And then JR was floundering in there. So tonight, I saw the difference. If you were to ask me commentary-wise, because someone brought the commentary up in the chat a minute ago, NXT slays AEW commentary. WWE commentary is like a 3 out of 10 at best, right? WWE is a 3 out of 10, and the only reason they're getting a 3 is for their professionalism and their ability to describe the action and go to and cut promos and action and ads and stuff like that while having Vince McMahon in their ear. Even though they're robots, you know, they're doing all this stuff and producing and speaking, and they're doing a good job at that, but they sound like robots. So a 3 out of 10 for the main WWE commentary. But for the NXT commentary tonight, and I know some people had a problem with Beth Phoenix, but she's better than Renee Young, I'll say that. But at times, like that screeching voice in the background was a little bit distracting. But I think she'll get better, and I think she's better than Renee Young. So if Renee Young can be on the Raw commentary, you know, I'm sure Beth Phoenix can be here. But Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness are the best commentary team, I believe, in wrestling right now. So I mean, the commentary tonight from Mauro and Nigel and even Beth, you know, I don't know. I mean, I would say that it's probably to me is like probably an 8.5 or a 9 on commentary. AEW the other night, I'd probably give it a 5 or 6, maybe a 6 out of 10. And at times, Jim Ross was fucking awesome. That call when Jon Moxley showed up, by God, the roof has come off! Like, that's JR, man. That was exciting. And Excalibur was great at sometimes, too, because he was really hyped. He was on to the moves. You know, JR couldn't keep up with it, but Excalibur was. He was like, fucking this, then that, then this, then that, and he was going. The only thing I didn't like was he was like, pile driver! That was annoying. And then the other guy was like, hey, I paid someone to get this job for some reason. But no, I don't know. But at least those are some of the comparisons. You want to get the comparisons, there they are. But the bottom line is, loved them both. AEW, great. NXT, great. Let's get back to NXT now. I reviewed the first 2 matches, gave you my scores for the first 2. Let's get to the third match.
Super Chat Party!
Woo!
Takeover. Only reason I pay for the network. 8/10.
I agree, Will Tactics. A lot of people are like, why don't you just cancel the network? Why aren't you canceling the network? Because fucking NXT, dude. And the fucking library. You know what I mean? It's $9.99. Dude, 5 years ago, we were paying $70 for a WWE pay-per-view every month. People were paying money. Well, they were stealing it mostly. That's probably why they made the network. Like, hey, how do we get this fucking people to stop stealing? Oh, well, $10, you know, and then we give them everything. So it wasn't a bad idea as you see the decline of the pay-per-view ratings. Will Tactics, thank you for the $2. Yeah, I mean, Will, shit, I don't know, man. Joe just wants an AEW job. Yeah, I do, but it's not going to happen. Listen, I've reserved myself already. I'm not going to hide my passion, dude. I want to call wrestling for every company there is. I want to call wrestling for House of Hardcore. I want to call wrestling for this company, that company, that company. I'll fly out. I don't care. I can do my show from a laptop from a hotel room. I'm going to be calling something in Florida coming up a little bit later. I will go anywhere because I just love calling wrestling, man. I really do, and I'll be criticized myself. I'm no fucking, you know what I mean? I'm nothing special at all in anything, but I just love calling wrestling. It doesn't matter if I suck or I'm good or whatever. I just love calling wrestling. It's the only thing. It's one of the only things as a job besides this that makes you happy. But it takes you to a different level when you're doing it live. It's unexplainable, even in front of 100 people. And I wrestled several matches in front of pretty decent sized crowds. It's the same feeling. It's this when I used to go out to the ring, it was the same feeling as going out to the ring, you know, and being in the ring and like making people angry, you know, and making people like hate you. Like that was amazingly fun. But anyway, let's Corrupted Podcast is tonight, by the way, on the Patreon, guys. If you guys aren't patrons, make sure you guys check out my Patreon tonight. We're going to be live with the Corrupted Podcast at 1 a.m. tonight, which is in 3 hours on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Download the Patreon app. It's free to download it, and you can become a patron for $1 a month. But there's many people that are at the $5 mark, $25 mark, $15 mark, a bunch of bonus stuff on there. If you like what I do and you guys want to have the bonus content that's not wrestling talk and then have some also bonus wrestling talk, get over to Patreon. You guys want to keep the show on the air, but you also get something. It's not like you're just giving $5 a month for nothing just to support. You get tons of other podcasts not heard on YouTube. And we are live tonight with the Corrupted Podcast, episode like 102 or something like that tonight. It's crazy that we've been doing it that long. Now, if you get offended by stuff, you probably don't want to listen to the podcast. But if you enjoy fucked up talk and a good old shock jock podcast, then you guys should have a good time tonight on Patreon. And now's the time to sign up because the charges went through yesterday. So if you sign up now, you won't be charged twice. So that's perfect. You'll only be charged once. And shout out to all the patrons who re-signed up today and upped their pledges. And I'll be looking for you guys in a few minutes. I don't know if Coop the Comedian's watching, but for some reason, I was a Patreon to Coop the Comedian, and he was a patron to me for a long time. And I don't know why, but he blocked me on Patreon. Coop, I don't know if it's a fucking accident or what, but your Patreon blocked me and took away the money I was giving you. I was giving you money a month, and you refunded me. I don't know why, and then blocked me, and then unpatroned me. I have no idea why that is. But if you're, I didn't mean to make it public, but I don't know what's going on. If there's a glitch or something, bro, hit me up and let me know. I don't know why you refunded my Patreon to you. Did something happen? I messaged you on Twitter. Anyway, it's fucking weird. But Street Profits become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. That was a pretty exciting moment for everybody, man. People were pumped up about that shit. It was solo cups everywhere. It was a lot of fun. Had a good feeling to this show so far. NXT North American title, they bring in Tyler Breeze to work with Velveteen Dream. I suppose they wanted somebody who would mesh with Velveteen Dream really well, and, Tyler wasn't doing much anyway, and maybe on top of that, they thought he would work well with Velveteen Dream. I don't know the answer to this, and maybe Triple H is going to give us the answer on his press conference thing later, and we'll have to talk about that then, but, they may have felt that Tyler Breeze was a veteran that could have good chemistry with him and also help him. I don't know. I'm assuming that could be what it is, but I don't really know that answer. So this match I thought was great. It was a very Velveteen Dream has been known for this a little bit in these NXT takeovers where everybody else is having these matches, and Velveteen Dream is sort of having like the modern match that I would enjoy, I guess, if that makes any sense. Kind of like a sort of, I'm not trying to compare these at all. I'm just sort of trying to think of it like what it's like a little bit. Kind of like if Macho Man and Randy Savage at WrestleMania 8 was modernized to nowadays a little bit. I feel like those are the type of matches Velveteen Dream has been having. Like a sort of a classic 90s WWE style match, but with a little bit of an upgrade to today. And that's what I feel like Velveteen Dream's matches have been. He had a phenomenal match in Lowell, Massachusetts. We've talked about this on a house show against Pete Dunne. And it was one of the best matches I had ever seen live. I'm not kidding. And I've seen Triple H versus Mick Foley at the Social Music Circus. And Mick Foley lost because he got hit by a potato chip bag. So, But no, that was a good one, though. Seriously. But no, it's so it was a whole different style again than the other matches of the night. So I appreciated the change in the tones. So you had the first match that was kind of a very exciting false finish type of nobody wants to give up or lose, kind of innovative athletic competition, and that I liked. I thought it was really well done, to be honest. I did like it. Then you had the ladder match, which was just brutality. It was just fucking brutality is what it was. And then now you have Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream, and they sort of go out there and have this sort of classic style WWE type of match. And I really enjoyed that. In fact, unfortunately, I have to rewatch it again, but I felt it did what it's supposed to do, which is got better and better as it went on. Crowd was tired from the last two matches, so it started slow. They started slow, and then they finally started hitting a point where, like, wow, this is starting to pick up a little bit. Everybody's fucking ragging on me in the chat. Keep in mind, everybody, I've slept 2 hours today. All right, bro? Dude, I've slept 2 hours today. Jake DeMarco was at the show. Jake DeMarco was at the show. It was in Connecticut. I was actually going to go to the show with him, but I didn't go again because we had more shit to do around here. So Jake DeMarco was at the event. So that was really cool. They also lit the show differently. It was much darker. I think at one point they decided, let's raise the lights a little bit, but it was very dark. And I did like that, sort of made it feel like that old school big fight feel. I really did enjoy that about the show as well. So now you have Dream and Breeze, which, again, I thought Dream and Breeze was an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a match that, I have to watch it again. If I have to revise, I'll revise later. Because I did have my kids coming in and out. I did have to go upstairs a couple times. I did flip over to the Stanley Cup to see the Bruins and the Blues. Obviously, I'm a Bruins fan from Boston, but the match wasn't 100% for me. It was a little bit interrupted, but I feel like I would have really enjoyed it if I had seen. I probably saw, 75% of it, but that little bit of disorientation by a kid or something like that, because, like Leah was doing something outside and then one of my kids was screaming and I came upstairs. It wasn't anything wrong. And I was like, where's mom? And she's like, oh, she's out there doing something. And I was like, okay, here's a popsicle. And then I come downstairs and, I missed like a minute and 20 seconds and something happened and I missed it. So sometimes that happens, and that, so that I don't have I'm going to have to watch it again, but I believe I want to give it an 8 out of 10. That's just what I'm saying. And I mean, Velveteen Dream is like Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Macho Man Randy Savage, like all rolled into one. I think he should even come up with another like moniker too, like the charisma, the man with the charisma of 1,000 legends or something like that. Like that's what he feels like. Like the man with the charisma. That'd be something Vince McMahon would come up with, though. You know what I mean?
Make sure when he comes out, you call him the man with 1,000 legends of charisma. Oh, that's right. That's fucking great.
Sorry. I don't know, man, but it feels like he does. It feels like he's Mortal Kombat. He's like Shao Kahn, and he just like took the souls of fucking like 5 other legends. Like it's crazy. That's what Velveteen feels like. Now on the mic, he's more like kind of soft-spoken, elegant, androgynous, not quite the in-your-face and the hype of a legend. So that's one of the issues that Velveteen Dream I think will have, because he's more cool and sort of mysterious and things like that. But he doesn't quite, in the 80s and early 90s, a lot of wrestlers yelled at the camera. And then that kind of went away a little bit, and then it sort of kind of came back in a way, with The Rock and everybody. But The Rock and Stone Cold and people like that, they said things in their promos that were like exciting and like real. Like it felt like they were really telling a story with certain things. Whereas a lot of times back in the day, it'd just be like, let me tell you, they're gonna come down from the top of the mountain, and you just be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But they were intense and they had charisma. So they were intense and they had charisma, so it worked no matter what kind of weird bullshit some jacked up, roided up fuck from the 80s and early 90s said, you believed it. But when The Rock or Rock, Stone Cold, or Triple H, cuts a promo, a lot of times there's a bit of purpose in there somewhere, or there's a point, whether it's a joke or a jab or something witty. There's always a reason for it compared to well, let me tell you something, dude. I'm gonna climb down with the butt. Like it's a whole different thing than the '80s screaming. You know what I'm saying? And the Velveteen Dream, you don't really see him doing that, like him being like the Dream, blah 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 blah. He's not really gonna do that. He's very soft spoken. So they're gonna have to be careful with how his promos are handled. But in the ring, man, I just love the Velveteen Dream. I would pay money to see the Dream. I'm not kidding. And I don't know if there's anybody right now. Maybe Adam Cole. But Velveteen Dream, yeah, I would, if you told me, because you could tell me a lot of guys are up the street tomorrow, like say I had something to do, so I didn't really want to go to a wrestling show if it was like 20 minutes away from me, and it was like $100, I'd be like, I'm not going. That's not happening. I'm not throwing $100. I got stuff to do today. Even though that's cool, I love wrestling, I'm not going to do that. But if you said Velveteen Dream's up the road, 20 minutes, and it's $100, and he's coming out, he's like the main event or something, I'd be like, shit, I'm going to pay for that. Like that. I mean, that's just how I feel. Some of you guys might be more like, nah, I'm more into like Gargano and Adam Cole, but I don't know. Just like I love the mix of the wrestling and the theater. But yeah, I'd pay to see a lot of these guys though, to be honest. But I mean, Velveteen Dream certainly, he's going off the Richter scale as far as the charisma, but he's got to get that promo going. Get that going on. Adam Cole and Gargano, we'll get to that in a minute because we're not done yet. Let's hear from you guys. What are you guys saying in the donations? Let's take a quick breather from all my bullshit I've been spewing out here as I watch the Stanley Cup on my second monitor.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man. Here we go. About to get it, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no.
Hey idiots, NXT should be better than AEW. They have been around longer. Why can't we just enjoy professional wrestling, not sports entertainment?
I think we can enjoy both. 813 South, thank you for the $5 and becoming a $5 shit bum. I really appreciate that. 813, you are legit a motherfucking beast. Thank you, 813. I appreciate that. Oh, let me just, wait a second. I think he wants to chime in, everybody. Dave Rose, what do you think?
Well, thank you, Yankee Doodle's little balls.
Oh, Yankee Doodle's little balls, Dave.
Do a little basketball dance off the concrete.
Let me get the phone lines up.
I mean, I'm just so sick of you little
What's up, Elliot?
Devil worshippers. I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
NXT Takeover UK is the same day AEW has All Out.
Oh.
Great show tonight. Still can't believe this, a WWE product.
Yeah, a good WWE product, as always. Elliot, thank you so much, man, for dropping $10. That is very interesting. I mean, I'll probably watch AEW because, I can watch the UK takeovers later. And coming to my Patreon soon, I'm going to be doing the NXT Takeover UK reviews, possibly. So that's something I'm working on. I did not have the phone lines open. Elliot, thank you for the donation. I did not have the phone lines open because I'm a moron. I didn't never open Skype, so I was like, why is no one calling about this? Normally everybody wants to talk about NXT. But I will open up the phone lines now.
Super Chat Party.
PPV 10 out of 10 main event best match of the year.
Wow. Enclosure. Thank you, Enclosure. I can't go 10 out of 10, man. I just can't do that. I feel like there's got to be something better than that. I look for more variety with a lot of stuff, but it was a very solid show, I thought. You know what I mean? You could give this a 9, and I could understand. But I'm going to give it an 8. Maybe an 8.5 would be better. But Enclosure, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. And we have, oh my God, a lot of phone calls I hung up on. Wow, there's like 17 phone calls, and I picked one. It's 646. Hello.
Hey, Joe Cronin. How you doing, man? This is Mike Gwaz from Brooklyn. I'm one of your patrons, man. Really awesome to speak to you, kid.
Holy shit, bro. It's really good to hear from you. I know exactly who you are, man. I didn't know you were from Brooklyn, though.
Yeah. I'm Brooklyn born and bred, man. I'm 41 years old, man. I'm a lifelong. I love your passion, man. I mean, I agree with a lot of the things you say, and I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass, man. It's just like you speak a lot of common sense. So you got a passion for wrestling. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Ruthless Aggression era. I kind of died off. I kind of faded out with that Ruthless Aggression era. Like, I didn't really watch it.
Me too. I did the same thing.
You know what it was, Joe? It was like it kind of after the Attitude Era. It was like coming down off a really good high. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, but it's not as bad as it is now. And we all know fact. It's the old man, bro. I mean, I was reading an article the other day, and basically, I'm watching, reading a lot of stuff. And basically, the writers are writing for Vince. They're not writing for the characters.
Right? Because did you hear Moxley's interview with Ward?
No, I didn't hear the Ward one. That came out today, correct?
Because what you just said is amplified by Moxley on Ward's interview yesterday, because Moxley says, it really isn't that the wrestlers are scared to be fired at all. He said, but the people that are scared to be fired are the writers. So they work extra hard to please Vince. So they push back the wrestlers even more, just like Vince would, because their jobs are on the line. And it's so bad that if anybody messes up, people get fired all the time because somebody has to be blamed. And that's the reason that Moxley said he tried his hardest to never go off script, because even when he could go off script at the end, he could have done all kinds of stuff. And he says he didn't because he knew that somebody's family, people have kids and families, and they'd be fired. And that's how tense it is for the writers.
Well, Joe, you know what part of the problem is too? It's basically, I believe that Vince is bound to a lot of the the sponsors. And they can't like AEW is going to go to, I believe it's going to go TV 14, correct? Is that what they're saying?
AEW, yeah, I think they'll probably go TV 14, yeah.
Now Tony said it. He goes, we're going to try. I don't know how far we can push the envelope on TNT, but we're going to turn it up every time we have a pay per view, which is a good formula. They're trying to please that. Listen, WWE has lost. And I said this to you the other day. I'm not trying to go back and forth, but they lost the 18 to 41-year-old demographic. They cater to 9-year-olds wearing purple John Cena Fruity Pebble T-shirts. They've lost us. Yeah. That's where NXT came in. It kind of filled the void. I don't know why. I also read that Vince, Shane, Triple H, Shane, and Stephanie have tried to plead with Vince, but he's. Yo, man, he's gonna have to be in the group. Joe, they're scared out of their mind. They're putting their heart and soul into it, and they're basically goes to Vince, and Vince is like, "Oh, that's not great shit." Well, he goes, "This is great shit." Everything with him is. Listen, I know Moxley didn't want to bet on the podcast that Moxley spoke on today. I know I read something to the fact that he didn't want to go overboard and bury WWE again. Right. I kind of feel like that interview he gave to Jericho. Right. I wonder what they're going to do to his wife, man.
Everyone's been saying that they're worried. Yeah, what they're going to do to Renee. Now I have, I can tell you this, and I didn't make a video about it because I just don't like the rumor stuff. It's always 50-50, but the bottom line is what I heard was that she was going to get moved at some point and put on assignment to where she'll be working in Connecticut, like sort of like hosting, videos, kind of like they did this to Coach. When they got rid of Coach, they said Coach is on assignment. Well, he never came back from assignment. And I really did hear that they're going to do that. And the only reason I kind of believe it, I don't think they will really. I just can't see them doing it. They're going to look really bad if they do it. But the only reason why I could see them moving her a little bit is because I don't know, man. They've got to be concerned a little bit that she's going to tell Dean.
You think Vince is getting worse? Do you think Vince is? You think with what Mox did? Do you think it would be so obvious right now if he did anything to her? If she would suddenly be reassigned or whatever. And you know what? I got to say, I mean, as far as female commentators go, she does not sound organic. No. But I'll tell you one thing: Beth Phoenix sounded. I was kind of impressed with Beth Phoenix tonight. I'm not saying it was fantastic, amazing, but I think she's far better than. Yeah. I mean, she was really good, and nobody's better than Morrow. I mean, like you said before with the commentary, the AEW, they have a long way to go. I think they were feeling each other out. I don't think they're going to have to practice and get at it and listen to JR. JR's not exactly 45-year-old man anymore, but he's still the best there is. The best there was, and hopefully, I mean, I don't think it'll be the best there ever will be, but to be not a big cliche, but JR is the standard. And the commentary was lacking. I think the beginning of the Battle Royal was lacking. I think it was nowhere near as good as the All-In Battle, the All-In Battle Royal. That was way better. That was one of the best Battle Royals I've ever seen. I don't know what you think of that.
No, on my review, if everybody goes back and looks it up, I loved the All-In Battle Royal. That was, oh my God, we were like, wow, that destroyed the Royal Rumble, is what I thought. Like, I can't believe this was that much better.
The high spots, like the Marco stunt, that one move that he pulled on Bubba Ray, Bully Ray or whatever, that was like, I mean, I don't know how, right now we don't even know who's really signed, who they're feeling out. I know they don't want to. I know they don't want to bring in. I know they don't want to bring in too many people, or like the scraps of WWE. They want to bring in the right fit for the company, and that's what they need to do. But as far as your comparison before, I hate to go so far to the left. With NXT put on, I think they always put on a solid show. I was at the show at WrestleMania, and then the next night I went to took my son to see WrestleMania Takeover. To go to the New Japan show. And I got my buddy work. He's like security at the Garden.
Yeah.
So he got me all the way down to the front of the ring, bro. I don't know. Wow. I don't know. He comes upstairs and he goes, I see him pointing his finger at me.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. We didn't ask for anything. Next thing you know, I'm like down by the ring, and I saw Enzo and Cass invade. So it was a great weekend. I'm telling you right now, I don't think I was ever so tired in my life, because there's no way in hell I was going to go to WrestleMania. I'm like, nah, I'm just doing those two shows. But as far as the NXT goes, the excitement, the electric atmosphere at an NXT show, they're really like the best WWE has to offer now. And I don't know creatively. I can only imagine being a guy like Mustafa Ali. You're about to get pushed, and all of a sudden you drop to the bottom of the barrel again. There's no creative. There's no direction. There's no mid-card storylines. There's no. Everything is all over the place. I would have flipped him heel and had him, or maybe not flipped him heel, but I mean, he was supposed to have a shot really at that title. You know what I mean? And I would have had Kevin Owens, like when he stepped up to Kofi, I would have had Mustafa try to go after Kofi, but Kevin got in the way and took his spot. So then Mustafa could feud with Kevin after it, like, hey, you took my spot after I came back when I had that chance, and now you got in the way. And then he could have done a thing with Mustafa Ali afterwards, but they didn't even set any of that up or anything. They don't set anything up anywhere. They just, like you said, they let the guy drift away. Mustafa Ali was set for this big push, and they just kind of went, oh, look, shiny new toy on to Kofi, and, well, whatever with the other guy. Listen, Joe, I'm not going to keep you much longer, because I know a lot of people want to speak. I just got two more points. And one thing is, I think that Vince does not see the potential in certain storylines and feuds with his younger talent. I think he's still got a bit of a hard on for some certain people. I don't think he sees that potential. And another thing that's missing, I'm going to end it with this. And I said this on Busted Open, because I call Busted Open every now and then. But I hopefully can continue calling you, because I love talking to you. I love your show, man. And be honest with you, if you ever notice, back in the day, Mean Gene, right? Mean Gene would call when he'd antagonize. He was like the greatest interviewer. He'd like, say for instance, Hall and Nash invaded, and Mean Gene would get in their face. Hall and Nash, he'd be like, "You know what you just did?" And he'd like antagonize you. He was like that antagonistic interviewer before and after and during something that went on, or before a match and after a match. WWE no longer. Nobody's ever going to be Mean Gene.
No,
but WWE no longer has that in between the matches. That antagonistic interviewer, that like a Mean Gene-esque type of attitude, like confronts them and tries to get more out of the character. Even some of the driest people with no personality, he managed to pull something out of their ass.
Yeah,
that's the way
they could
use. That doesn't exist anymore.
But dude, they could use that too nowadays but they don't want to be. I guess because that's the whole thing, is everything's so scripted. So if you're with a talent and the guy doesn't say a whole lot and he doesn't look that good, so you're like, okay, that wasn't very good. You have a lot of nerve saying something like this when last week you did this to this guy, and now this week you're saying that you're the best in the company. You have not had a championship match yet, and then let the talent figure out what they're going to say. But because they don't want to script it, they want to script everything. They can't do that. That's why you get scripted promos, and then you get robot announcers. That's why the announcers suck, like you just said, and they're like, I'm standing. You could replace all 5 of the last female backstage announcers. Their lines are all the same. I'm standing next to Rusev. I'm standing next to Anderson. I'm standing next to whoever. And then when they walk away,
puppets, Joe. They're sad because they're not allowed to be the best they could possibly. I'm sure those women could turn it up a notch and have better personalities. I mean, it's not, you're nervous when you're on TV. But they're being scripted. It's bland. It's not organic. They're not letting people break out of the shows. Like I tweeted you the other day about the Stone Cold podcast. Like when he froze up on that, when Mox froze up on that podcast, I don't know what was going through his mind or why he was so quiet or not speaking. When I heard him on Jericho's podcast, that was a complete. I understand he's free now,
Yeah.
but that was a completely different person. He let it go. He was elaborate. He was specific. I never heard him be so emotionally just let it go the way he did, and he let it. He put it all on the table, and I was very, very impressed. When I tweeted, I said I was very impressed with how he just let it go, and he was able to be himself. I think we're going to see a more edgier Mox. Now he's also signed with he's doing some stuff in New Japan, and that sprung a bell too. I don't know what the agreement is between AEW. I'm sure AEW is keeping their doors open because I don't think they're really happy with from what I'm reading, they're not really happy. New Japan's not really happy with ROH. There seems to be some sort of happy with ROH lately, especially after the Enzo and Cass incident. And I'm wondering if New Japan, can you imagine AEW and New Japan New Japan getting together and doing something similar to what they do? I mean, that would be. They've
got all the connections. Wow. All the connections that brought them to Ring of Honor for most of those times are at AEW now. A lot of them are. So that, I mean, Ring of Honor still has connections with them, but I'm just saying it's weird. And Ring of Honor's in trouble. I mean, they've lost so much talent and whatever else. I'm happy for Matt Taven. I'm like, I've known him for years.
They got some great some great talent over there. And to be honest, I want to ask you one more question. I'm going to hang up on you. What do you think of M? Now, I was talking about the whole antagonistic person. Right now, I think one of the best heels in wrestling, the highest potential is MJF.
Yeah.
And MJF has the potential to be. Here's how I would book MJF, and I want you to comment on it and want you to tell me what you think. MJF could be potentially another Roddy Piper in my eyes. Nobody could be Roddy Piper because that was like it was him and Hogan, and it was that they just basically jump started the whole conglomerate that was WWF. But as far as MJF's talent to be a real asshole, to be a real prick, I think I would love them to just book him just being the biggest dick in the world for like 2.5, 3 months, building up so much heat, not wrestling now, and then just to the point where it gets so bad. He's such an asshole. He pisses so many people off that the fans are dying for someone to just punch him in his effing face.
I think
that type of heat.
He could do it. He could do it. He could definitely do it. I mean, he won't. I mean, what he does now, he couldn't do in WWE because he'd be so scripted. It wouldn't even be him. That's a point right there that ties in everything else. But Gwaz, man.
Joe, you're the man, bro. You're the man. I look forward to speaking to you. To you more in the future. Love this show, bro. You're so down to earth and honest. I got the same deal. I was reading your post about your kids recently. How your kids. I think you messed up your TV, bro. You don't even want to know what I've gone through with this. I got two monsters. Yeah. And besides, my dog ate my effing couch last night. I don't want to get into that. I got 11-month-old pitbull, and my friggin' 5-year-old put a Matchbox car dead square in the middle of my flat screen. You couldn't have measured this any more perfect. I got lucky though. I kind of scammed a little bit of the protection plan. They actually came and they replaced it. I got lucky. God was looking down on me, but man, you're a good guy, man. We got a lot in common as fathers, and I'm gonna hang up. And thanks for hearing me out, brother.
Thank you, man. No, Mike, I love you, man. Good shit. Thanks for supporting me, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, bro, I'm behind you 100%. Let's keep it going, bro. I'll be calling you here and there, and give my regards to Jake. I hope he's feeling better, man. All right, be good, kid.
Hell yeah, man. Later. Mike from Brooklyn, man. That was a hell of a call. I know it was a long one, but he's been a supporter for a while. I've never gotten him on the phone, so I think Mike was unloading with everything he hadn't said before, so I appreciate having that on here to talk about it. Mike's going to bring up my Boston accent with that fucking Brooklyn accent, man. You're gonna fuck me up, Mike, and bring my Boston accent out. I work really hard not to have my Boston accent on this show, and I noticed you're going to bring that shit out of me. Pour me a beer. All right, so there's a lot of calls coming in. I will get back to more calls. Mike, but thank you for all the support, dude. I appreciate that shit. He's a big supporter, man, on Patreon. And we got Corrupted Podcast coming up tonight. Mr. P, what's up, man? Thanks for subbing to the channel. Jake DeMarco's not here because he was at the show.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man. Here we go. About to get it, man.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no.
Joe, I watch all the time, but this is my first dono. Can you forgive me for my gut review comment you were opposed to?
Your Game of Thrones review, Todd? I don't care. No problem, man. I got no problem whatsoever. I don't hold grudges about anything. Everybody's got their own opinions. If you had a different opinion, that's cool. I don't even really 100%, have, I don't know what's right or wrong about Game of Thrones. I can give my opinion. That's about it, Todd. But, dude, I appreciate that. It is what it is, man. Everybody's got their own opinions, and everybody's allowed to have their own opinions, and I want to hear them. I want to hear opinions. I want to hear opposing opinions. I'd love to have people shit on me on a call.
9/10 for me tonight. They honestly just needed blood.
I agree. That honestly, and I know that it always sounds like I'm fucking bloodthirsty, but I really do think it adds so much more in a certain way. I think maybe it would have been nice if there was a gimmick tonight besides the ladder, Jeremy. Maybe if the last match could have been turned into a hardcore match or something like that. I felt that would have added to the show a lot more to me. But there was a great last match, but again, just lots of super kicks and stuff like that, Jeremy. Thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum. Let me grab my Pepsi, not the one from 2 days ago because that's gross, but I haven't thrown away on my table yet. ZD May, thank you for subbing to the channel. People having beers tonight. I'm still got the Bruins, Blues in the background. Bruins got Cinco, Blues got Dos.
Give me a hell yeah!
Solid show. 8/10. Adam Cole vs Gargano was match of the night. Montez Ford has the best frog splash in the business today.
Yeah.
Better than Owens. Don't at me. Joe,
no, it is better than Owens.
What are the chances Matt Riddle ruins Brock Lesnar's MITB cash in?
I don't know, man. I hope they do something fun because the main roster sucks, But thank you, man. I agree. I don't think Kevin Owens has the best frog splash at all. But
Beth Phoenix is trash. Get rid of three-man commentary.
I do agree, Mike Litteris, that they should not have a three-man or two-man, one-woman commentary. I don't think we need that whatsoever on, especially in NXT. I thought Beth was better than Renee, and I think Beth has potential to be better. So that's the good thing about Beth, whereas Renee, I just don't even. I loved Renee on the pre-shows, just don't like her on the commentary. Beth was okay, but there was cringe moments, but she was pretty good.
Party.
I thought Candace would turn heel on Io Shirai.
Some other people mentioned that too, Will Tactics, and it didn't go that way. A lot of people thought Undisputed was going to break up and all these sort of things that didn't happen. Will Tactics, thank you for the donation, man. What's up, Will? Just to recap real quick for the people who just got in here, I believe I gave the opening match. I thought it was really good, surprising how good it was for them. Gave it an 8.5, I think, out of 10. Tag match, I think I gave that like an 8 or a 7.5. North American title with Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream, I gave that, I believe, an 8. The women's match was unfortunately for the women, it was the weakest match of the night, I believe. If you can say that, it was still pretty good. And then, at the end doing the moonsault with the chair, that was badass from Io Shirai. That was kind of fun.
Give me a hell yeah!
A little something there.
Anyone who says cancel the network is retarded. You get good shit like tonight, decent WWE PPVS most part and original programs for $10. We're lucky they haven't raised the price. Triple H said Breeze is officially back in NXT. I'm sticking with a 9.
Wow. Thank you very much, Alexis Sweet Ass. Appreciate that. 9 out of 10 from Alexis Sweet Ass. And thank you for telling me about what Triple H said on his post comment.
Hell yeah!
Probably talk about tomorrow.
Only thing I didn't like was that guy rapping Adam Cole out. WTF
God.
was he saying?
What the fuck was that, Alexis Sweet Ass? Thank you for the 316. Dude, that was like, wow. I was like, I want to see Adam Cole's entrance, and that dude just ruined it. It was like, we're at the point in time where like, that guy sounded as bad as like a white rapper from like the 90s or something. It was really cringy. It was weird. I did not like that guy. I didn't know black guys could sound like white cringe rappers, but he did. Chatty, what up, man? Thanks for subscribing to the channel. How you doing? Yeah, that shit was weird. They tried it. It was a fun little thing. It really came off corny. I mean, I don't know.
Shit bomb.
Whatever.
Big Taddy V vs Mabel vs Versu in ladder match. Kevin Nash vs Diesel in cage match. Mick Foley vs Dude Love vs Mankind vs Cactus Jack Hell in cell match. Scott Hall vs Razor First Blood match. 123 Kid vs Sex Pack.
Yeah, man. You can do that on WWE 2K. Dream match. Thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum. Yeah, you can do that in WWE 2K. I'd like to see 123 Kid take on Razor Ramon. Maybe get his $10,000 back or whatever it is. You know? God, man, that was a great time. When I was a kid, I remember seeing that match and being like, what the hell is happening right now? Dude, 123 Kids running out here with Razor's money. House of Pain 1010. What up, man? Thanks for subbing to the channel. I appreciate that. I will go back to the phone lines in just a minute. Dave Rose, are you here?
Well, thank you, Yankee Doodle's little balls.
Oh. The only BS or B Stew? The only B Stew, CPU versus CPU Gaming. Jesus, that's a hell of a name for a channel. I mean, that's... Like, I mean, you're going to put that on a t-shirt, bro. That is not smart marketing. I don't know. Like, that's going to be... That t-shirt's going to be a real hard sell, man. I don't know. But check out Patreon tonight because I'm going to be live with Corrupted Podcast at 1 a.m. tonight. The party continues tonight on the Corrupted Podcast. Me, Justin, and Ken, and perhaps Filthy, and Leah, and whoever else that's going to come party with us on our recorded podcast. Episode 102, I think it is tonight, live. If you like shock, jock, fun, kind of chilled out dudes hanging out, talking on a podcast, and you're not offended by shit, you're going to love the Corrupted Podcast on my Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. We could always use the support. Why the fuck is my dog upstairs barking like crazy? What in the hell is going on up there? I would like to know. Where were we? Okay, so now we get to the last match. So I would go ahead and I would give the women's match. It was kind of a whatever type of deal. I'd probably give it like a 7. Probably I'd probably give it a 7.
Shit bum.
I give this a Sonny's juicy ass out of 10. Looks like 2 finely pressed smoked hams. Twerk daddy twerk.
Well, that's why Sunny Kiss, what's up? Appreciate that. Sunny Kiss ass sweat. Thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum. See, that's why I can't be serious about anybody that says it's a 10 out of 10, because it's like you thought the women's, like a 10 out of 10 is like everything nailed it. You know what I mean? But you're saying 10 out of 10. I don't know, man. The women's match certainly was not a 10. You know, it was not a 9. So, can't really give. Triple H is breaking into my house, says Scott N in the chat. What's up, Scott? What's up, Wise Society? Yeah, he's breaking in. Oh, no. Oh, God, he's attacking Leah. I don't know. What else do we have? We're almost done here. So the final match, this is another one I have to watch again. Adam Cole has the cringy intro, whatever. Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. It was really fun. It was awesome. It was exciting. I'm somebody who gives it a negative because of the super kicks, the false finishes, and it's insane. I've seen it 100,000 times almost. It didn't really start to tell it, like, it didn't have a flow like some classic wrestling matches can have. It was just an awesome, action-packed, badass, athletic competition wrestling match to me. But it didn't have this magic. Okay? So, to me, that's my opinion. So, I loved it. I was very excited watching it. It reminds me of going to see a movie in the theater that's like a fun action movie that's like, this is awesome. You're eating popcorn and maybe you're in a theater where you can drink, so you're taking shots. Or you're sitting with your wife and you're just like, this is the shit, man. This is, oh, fuck, that guy just blew up and flew off that thing. But then when you get home and you review it, you're like, oh, it was really fun and everything. But yeah, it's ridiculous and it didn't have the craziest story, but it was really exciting. It was like I've never seen some of that type of action before. So, you give it like an 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? But maybe like you see a movie that has more depth to it, that's more slow paced and has emotion and amazing characters. And you end up caring about that movie a lot more, even though it wasn't maybe it wasn't made for the movies as much. It's for the popcorn, for the big screen action shit. And that's kind of how I feel about this. I'd probably give this match an 8 out of 10 to an 8.5 out of 10. I could probably see it in an 8 or an 8.5 to me. So that's why tonight's overall, I would give NXT tonight an 8 out of 5. I thought it was a great, solid show, and it was really good, man. It proves how from bell to bell, to the beginning of the night to the end of the night, how NXT can really just be like, get out there, put on the show, and get out. And it's always seems solid. It is like eye-opening when they do a 7.5. I think I gave like a few shows a 7.5 once, and or like a 7. I think the lowest grade I ever gave an NXT Takeover was a 7, I think. There might have been a 6.5 or something, but it's like there's really like you could count like there's like 3, 4, or 5 NXT Takeovers that were a little bit like below what the other ones were. But that's incredible that they have been able to sustain this dominance. It's amazing. It's like it really is amazing that we've given a lot of these NXTs like a 7, 8, 9, or 10 every time out is pretty goddamn amazing. Like it really speaks to like Triple H, the people producing the matches, coming up with some of the ideas, the wrestlers that are going out there coming up with their matches and ideas. The execution, that's another thing. The execution of a lot of things. There's not too many like crazy botches, and even if something does get botched, the good thing is if something gets botched a lot of time, the announcers can still clear it up because the announcers are like humans and they can actually say like, oh, he tried to climb the ladder, instead he slipped off the side and he might have separated his shoulder on the way down, or do it like Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness. My God, he might have separated his shoulder. Oh, Mauro, he tried to climb the ladder too fast. What happened was he took his eyes off the ladder and he was staring at his opponent and he tried to rush up the ladder. And when you rush, sometimes mistakes happen. And my goodness, he came down on that shoulder. And Mauro, he may be injured.
Well, he may very well be taking himself out of this match, but here he goes. He's still getting up now, and he's going to try it again from the top.
Yeah, but how much time has passed now since...
Shit, bomb.
It's like, oh, shit.
Well, other night my wheelchair stayed put in one spot. NXT was amazing.
God,
it reminded me when I tied Bret Hart in the Royal Rumble match. Great moment. BTW, fuck you, Bret Hart. I agree with Vince. Bret did screw Bret. Now UI Elizabeth is dead cause of Bret.
Oh, man. Lex Luger, man. I'm so sorry. You son of a bitch, Lex Luger. Man, you are one of the... Goddamn, you are one of the most dastardly bastards in wrestling. Lex Luger, you really are a bad man. But thank you, Lex Luger, for being a shit bum tonight. 334 is on the phone. No, he's not. He hung up. Phone lines are open as always, guys. If you want, get your final thoughts in here as we wrap this thing up on the NXT review. What do you guys have to say? Give a call up and become a patron of mine. Guys, if you'd like to support my channel and keep me doing these shows, but also get 30 hours of bonus content a month you can't hear here on YouTube, guys, think about coming over to Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. I hope you guys can give it a try. You're probably gonna like it. I say a bunch of stuff I can't say here on YouTube.
Guys,
yo, 334, what's up?
Keep me doing these shows. I also get 30 hours of bonus.
Wow. That guy had his computer way up. 909, what's up?
What's up, Joe? I just wanted to say that my favorite match of the night was Velveteen versus The Dream. The best shit ever.
Hell yeah, man. I did like that match. It was like a throwback, All right, that was it. That was quick. He just right to the point. Like, hey, I love Velveteen Dream. That's what he said. That was quick. I have to plug this because on Monday we're gonna have Bushwhacker Luke. If everybody remembers good old Bushwhacker Luke. He's going to be here on the Joe Cronin Show. We're gonna have him. The interview may actually take place on the during the Raw review, during my Monday Night Raw review. But if you guys are in Warwick, Rhode Island, or anywhere near Warwick, Rhode Island, this week, this Saturday, first of all, Friday night's the Hall of Fame, the New England Hall of Fame, if you want to check that out. But please check it out on Facebook, guys. Tickets are available right now. FanFest. Jimmy Hart, the Honky Tonk Man, Tatanka, Eric Bischoff, all kinds of motherfuckers.
I want Sasha to sit on my face.
DC Derek USA. You want the boss to sit on your face? Who doesn't? I mean, like, I'm game. There's nothing about what you just said do I want to deny or not do. I'm game with if you are. Thank you, DC Derek. I appreciate the donation, man. Bill Apter's going to be there. Barbie Blank was formerly Kelly Kelly. Dude, Bob Hawley is going to be there. Dutch Mantel. We the People. The Four Horsemen are going to be there. The real Four Horsemen. Tully and Arn and everybody. Come on down. There's just so many people that are going to be here. Yeah, Bushwhacker Luke's going to be here. He's going to be on the show Monday. Perry Saturn's going to beat you in the head with Moppy. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Duke the Dumpster Drosy. And, dude, Brian Malonis. Good guy. I've called so many of his matches. Brian Malonis is going to be there. A couple of the guys from Men on a Mission. You know, it's going to be a Fan Fest 7. Warwick, Rhode Island, guys. Go get your tickets. And I'm going to be there. I mean, out of all those people and legends, even Jimmy Hart and everybody else and Eric Bischoff, F all of them. Just come and see me at my table because I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be walking around trying to sniff Eric Bischoff's trousers. It's going to be a fun time. But seriously, guys, 340 patrons. I'm sure we'll be back to 380 by the end of the week because today that people were charged and sometimes the cards don't go through. So make sure your Patreon is working because you don't want to miss the Corrupted podcast tonight. So much bonus content here on Patreon that you can't hear anywhere else. They fixed the audio problem and the playback issues that they were having. So that's all working. Get on Patreon. Come listen to the podcasts that are on here.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man.
It's
Here we go. About to get it, man. Here we go.
It's going to be fun tonight.
Here we go. Oh, no.
To me, Vince sold out and forgot where he came from and what got him there. He totally forgot what it means to be a wrestling fan. Just my opinion.
Yeah, you know, I think he has kind of Juice Man Smith. I think Vince is so isolated. We've talked about this before with how isolated Vince McMahon is.
It's how isolated Vince McMahon was. He was always like this.
No. Vince McMahon is so isolated from everything and from everyone. We've heard this before about pop culture and stuff. He doesn't even know, what people are talking about, that, Vince McMahon has done this. And I think he's just super isolated at this point. So that's just the way he is, and it would explain, why we have these issues that we have with him. So thank you very much, Juice Man Smith. I appreciate that. But I'm going to go back to the phones for a second. We got 513s on the phone. What's up?
What's up, Joe? It's Will Sackies.
Oh, shit. What's up, Will?
Yo. Yeah, I thought the show was good tonight. I mean, I don't think that they, normally every takeover kind of outdoes the next one. I don't really feel like they did that tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think we gave some of the other ones recently. We gave some 8.5. I gave some 8.5s. I even gave a 9 a couple ones ago. And, well, I think they finally, they finally reached the point where it was like, it's better, it's better, it's better, it's better. Okay, they took a step back. It's better, it's better. And, they're at the point now where it's really, really hard to top some of those previous ones. But I'm just happy that I thought it was a pretty solid 8 out of 10 show.
Yeah, I said an 8 out of 10. I mean, plus I felt like Morrow was a little, just way too much on the commentary. Like, he just, normally when he's doing his commentary, like I'll say like maybe a few years ago, maybe even just a year ago, he was just natural. And it just feels like he's like forcing it now. Like, they're trying to, it's a little bit more cartoonish than it used to be. Just a tad. I might be being nitpicky.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. I think sometimes he can get a little bit like that. He's had different nights to me. He's had nights where he's not that bad. There was the night, remember, whatever the one was that first time where they clipped the videos of him screaming and flipping out. Yeah, he was going like berserk like that night. But I don't know, like, I don't mind it because that's kind of what I want. I think some of the, like, the lines, oh my God, the Bruins just scored again, 7-2. Some of the lines can get, if they're like he came up with them earlier or whatever, it can sound weird. But I don't know. I just have I'm I know what you're saying. I think some people don't like it. It's the same reason some people don't like certain hockey announcers or sports announcers sometimes when they go overboard with stuff. But I just happen to like that. I mean, but I don't like the Excalibur guy. So I don't like that. I don't like when he's like, pile driver. Like, I don't like that.
I mean, it stands out in your mind. I mean, that's kind of like the one benefit of it. Like, it stands out in people's minds when they do stuff like that. But, I mean, at the same time, it is kind of obnoxious. And, like, the other thing is that, like, one of my friends watched NXT tonight, and, you know, he hasn't really seen wrestling since, like, maybe 2004, 2005. And, you know, the first time he saw somebody do a super kick, you know, the sweet chin music,
right,
in that, like, final match, he was just like, oh, man, that's it.
It's over, yeah. Oh, no, wait.
No, man, you haven't seen wrestling in a while. Like, that's just, like, a regular move now. People just do super kicks all over the place. But, like, he pointed it out. He was just like, yeah, there's just way too many super kicks. Like, like, why is everybody doing that? There was so many points in that final match where you just didn't need that many near falls. Like, they need to stop with all the near falls. Like, they overdid it last month with Gargano and Cole, and then in this match, I feel like they did it again. Way too many near falls.
Yeah, I think that there was. I just don't like it. I agree. I don't want to like be sour, but I do. I don't. I sat there sometimes and rolled my eyes when there was so many kickouts and so many. But at the same time, I liked it, so it didn't bother me. But there is that part of me that doesn't. I'm like, okay, so I like the match and I'm excited, but there's a part of me in my brain that says, okay, this will never be a 10 out of 10 for me because I don't give extra credit for these kickouts and these super kicks and these, oh my God, like I don't, that makes the match hit a ceiling for me. If Dream and like, let's say Dream and Tyler Breeze, or like the opening match with Roderick Strong, either one of those two matches had gone to an extra level at the end and someone had gotten like busted wide open and then there was like a spot outside with like a chair and into the post, into the stuff like that, and they did a little bit more and there was a little bit more to it. Those matches would have had the potential to be like stuff that I would go back and watch again. Whereas Gargano's match, I don't think I really won't ever go back and watch Gargano and Cole from tonight again.
I'm kind of right there with you. Like, I don't think I need to go back and watch that match again.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna let you go because you probably got more callers coming in. Everybody, sign up on Patreon tonight and watch Corrupted. I'm not telling you to do it, but it's a good idea and you should invest in it. It's freaking $2.
Yeah, man.
Patreon, bitches.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Will. Thank you, man. And shout out to all the people that, shout out to everybody that goes above and beyond on the Patreon and jump to the producer level. I will have the updated people again tomorrow down below in the description boxes of all my videos going forward. If you want to get the producer credit down below and help me out, you're really helping us out because for $5 a month, you get 30 hours of bonus content, but you know, there's a lot of people that are at the $25 producer credit. There's a couple people at the $50 spot. You don't need to do that whatsoever, but just some people do it, and that is much appreciated for the people that can't sign up at all on Patreon. But I think if you go to Patreon, you're going to stay. You know, we hit our biggest mark at 387 or something earlier, a couple weeks back, so it's doing really well. And I want to thank you guys for all that support on Patreon. I'm trying to bring a network of stuff, like not only the 30 hours on YouTube that we do a week or whatever, but we're trying to do 30 hours on Patreon and bring this whole thing to Patreon as well, to where we can support the shows and, you know, what I try to do here. And I would like to get it to the point where we could get it good again, so we get everybody back on the shows and we can support everything we're doing here. So check out Patreon.
Give me a hell yeah! On Raw, Bayley to be on Moment of Bliss and 6-man tag. Roman and USO's V. McIntyre and The Revival. Joy. Next day you all out, I'll be in NYC at the second ever Live Movie Trivia Schmodown event. Watch the match I just sent you. 100% legit trivia plus hint of WWE storyline.
I will check that out, Haskell 420. Haskell, thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude. Good to hear from you, too. Good to hear from Haskell. Shit bum.
NXT made me squirt right on my television when Stephanie was in the front row. I wish I can eat her while I stick my fist in her ass, just thinking about her clit rubbing with my clit. Play my fucking song.
Oh my God. That was just absolute savage brutality from Blumpkin, Cunt, Pussy Juice. Thank you for becoming...
You got that, Blumpkin. You got that, Blumpkin, pussy juice. That pussy's loose. It's on the loose. That pussy does all of the men. What's up, guys? Sorry about that. My computer froze again. I have a very bad computer. And I don't like to talk about everything. I will try to get back on and play the donations that we missed. So I apologize for the my computer freezing again. I'm trying to get it back on and started again. How you guys doing? Hope you guys tell everybody to refresh. Everybody's got to refresh. So anyway, yeah, final thoughts before I play the rest of the donations and I get back to the maybe a phone call or two more. I will replay the donations from where we missed out on. I would play. I can't play the song right now because I'm on my phone while my computer reboots, and it is an extreme close-up, and you like that, don't you? Yeah. So I would give. I would give tonight a. Oh, I can play the donations actually on here. I just remember that I can do that. I would give tonight an 8 out of 10, so I am going to give it an 8 out of 10 tonight. And I think we can play the donations actually here. Maybe not. I want to shout out Botch Club. I will play that for you, Botch Club. $1.99 super chat from Botch Club says, more Cronin on Instagram. So if you guys go to Botch Club's Instagram account, it looks like he's featuring me in a video that he just put up, so check that out because they're fucking hilarious. And it's funny to read. It will get like 20,000 views, and the people don't know who I am, and they'll be like, who's this loser fighting a bear on the Botch Club channel? So go check out Botch Club on Instagram. It's great. And then check out my Instagram because I send alerts out and do videos on there too. Instagram.com/Joe Cronin Show. Movado! What's up, Movado? Give me that Superman punch in my rectum. Give me that Superman punch in my rectum. I don't care if your fist goes up my asshole. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. I'm not a very good singer, I'm sorry.
Do you think Vince actually enjoys watching a wrestling match anymore? Or do you think he just enjoys entertaining himself with stupid-ass antics and cheesy stories? Like, would he legit enjoy Omega versus Okada match? Or would he be bored because he's banned?
I think he enjoys creating from everything we can put together. If you look at what so many different people say and bring up, it sounds like Vince just really loves being the guy creating. Think about it like this, Movado, and everybody. Think about it like this. Did you ever play like Madden or NHL or baseball where like you're the manager, you're the owner of the team, and you're playing the video game because it's fun to play the sport part of it. It's fun to play another team. It's fun to try to beat a guy in Madden or hockey or whatever team it is. But then there's this like secondary part of the game where it's fun to manage the team, upgrade your players, mix the chemistry around, or maybe there's like a franchise mode where like you set concession prices and morale of the fans matters, and you know you want to demote people. So you kind of just enjoy being God. You enjoy playing God and sort of, number one, amusing yourself and having fun, but also you're in control of creating things. So I think that's what Vince loves doing, because he always wants to be involved in the creative process. That's the whole thing. I think he does enjoy some of the matches and stuff like that, but I just don't think he enjoys the matches to a level of, of those matches because he didn't, like you said, he didn't do them.
He didn't produce the match, so it's not exciting to him. It's kind of like me with basketball. I don't really watch basketball anymore because I don't enjoy watching people play basketball. I watch and I go, I don't care. But I still love playing basketball. So when I go out, I love playing basketball. I'm not very good at it. Well, I'm better. I'm better at it than some of the other sports. But it's like I really enjoy playing it, but I don't like watching it. And I think that's where Vince is. I don't think he would enjoy that much watching these other guys wrestle because he has nothing to do with it. And that's the point.
Solid show tonight. Riddle continued to show how valuable he is, and Strong looked solid. A part of me did wish he would have helped Cole get a heel win, and then Cole winning clean in a third match, but it was great nonetheless. 9/10. Fuck off, Vince.
Robbie Hyde, man. Thank you so much, Robbie Hyde. Thank you for the $4, dude. Go a little fucking... Ryback. Seriously, Ryback, get the hell out of the chat, Ryback. I'm dead serious, Ryback. Get out of the goddamn chat, Ryback. Robbie Hyde, man. Thanks for the $4, man. Appreciate that. Hopefully I'm going to see some of you guys in Warwick, Rhode Island this weekend on Saturday. Go get your hotel rooms now. Let me just try to get the screen back up over here. He doesn't like wrestling. He likes entertainment. I agree, but if Vince produces a good match, so if Vince sees a really damn good match, I bet you he loves it. I bet you Kofi loved. Oh Jesus Christ! I bet you Vince McMahon loved Kofi and Daniel Bryan. Like I bet you he loved that. We all kind of like that match. I bet you Vince liked it. The ending, the shot. I would think that Vince would be like, hell yeah, that was damn good the way it ended and everything. I see Vince liking that. Maybe I'm crazy, but I see Vince McMahon liking that. And did I miss any other donations? I don't think so. Blumpkin cunt pussy juice. Thank you, man. It's all your fault, Blumpkin. I was trying to play the Blumpkin cunt pussy juice song, and that's what froze the computer. And that's not the first time that's happened. It's got something to do with that file. Whenever I play that file, the computer freezes. I don't know. Maybe it's the goddamn file. Sting made me a wrestling fan. Tully Blanchard should have got cut off. I don't know who just said that because my chat reaction thing is all screwed up. Anyway, guys, that's about it. What's up, Nick? What's up, everybody? If you missed my review here or you didn't see all of it, go back and rewatch this from the beginning to hear everything I said about everything. Again, 8 out of 10 for me tonight. I thought it was hard to come up with the match of the night to me. It was probably between Matt Riddle, his opening match, and with Roderick Strong, maybe Gargano and Cole, and the Velveteen Dream Tyler Breeze match. I suppose those three are the candidates, and I don't know which one I would go with. I think a lot of people are going with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. I might, I don't know. I have to rewatch it again to tell you definitively. They were so close to me. But anyway, clean the malware on the file. Now I don't think there's any malware. It's Windows 10. My computer's just done. My computer is at the point where it's had enough. I built this computer 3 years ago with a cheap motherboard. One of the things I cheaped out on was the motherboard. And for $700, I built a computer that was basically a $1,500 computer for $700 because I built it myself. And I don't know. I cheaped out on the motherboard on purpose because I didn't have money. And it looks like we're paying the price now 3 years later. And because I just bought the house and all these problems are happening and taxes and stuff, I just don't want to drop. I don't know. I might have to, though, because this is my career. So if this keeps happening, or I might just run up and grab Leah's laptop and start using that for a while, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I apologize for all the restarts, refreshes, and problems that we have recently. Captain Turpitz, what's up, Captain? Thank you for subbing to the channel. Do a smashing computer when you get a new one. It's the Costanza. Yeah, I might have to do that. I might have to do that, man. I might have to do that. Quit downloading porn. Now, I never you don't download porn anymore, man. You just watch it. It's just always streaming. You don't download it. You don't download that anymore. Come on. I mean, if you download it, I mean, you're just asking for some shit. You know, you're asking to be fucked up. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please come back a little bit more tomorrow. And tonight we are going in 2 hours. Tonight in 2 hours on my Patreon. It is the Corrupted Podcast. Me and Bailey and Ken and Leah and a dog. And we're going to do some fucked up shit tonight, man. And I don't know if there will be a Patreon after what we do tonight on Corrupted Podcast. I'm not sure if I'll have a Patreon anymore. But I know that it's too hot for YouTube. I know that this podcast is too hot for YouTube. Howard Stern's too much of a pussy to do this type of stuff anymore. Right, Howard? You old bird? So, if you guys like what I do, and you want this shit to continue, and you want to help out, and you also want bonus shit that you can't hear on YouTube, and you want to hear the Corrupted Podcast, you want to hear Morning Madness, you want to hear me and Leah's podcast with my wife, where I finger her under the dingleberries, and if you want to hear all the other things that we do on Patreon, then tonight is the night, because you won't be charged twice. Now it's June 1st. So sign up right now. $1 fucking dollar. For $2, you get the audio download. For $5, you get 30 hours of bonus content a month. For $10, you get the VIP Discord and all that other shit. And some of you crazy bastards are actually at the $25 a month mark. And some crazy motherfuckers are at the $100 a month mark. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Or download the app on your goddamn phones. And tonight, let's fuck shit up! Oh... I'll see you guys tonight on Patreon in just under 2 hours. All the links are in the description box below on my video. And a special shout out to all the $25 and above patrons who went way the fuck above and beyond and have kept this show on the air, because without you, I wouldn't be on the fucking air anymore. Good night. On Patreon tonight. I'm gonna rub one out on Patreon tonight. Yeah.